Remember that arc in 30 Rock where Jack ends up in Washington for a while and then he wants to get out of the job, so he releases the gay bomb in a small room? Well, I thought that was just a really dumb 30 Rock joke, but it turns out it was a real thing that was proposed to the Department of Defense in the 90s. I don't even know what to make of this one, but now that I found the original proposal letter, I have to tell you about it. And for anybody that's like, how did you not know this was real? I do early Cold War stuff. I'm not up to date on things that happened in the 90s. This wasn't a full-on program. Rather, it was kind of like an expression of interest or of intent coming from the Wright Laboratory in Ohio. The title of the letter was Harassing, Annoying, and Bad Guy Identifying Chemicals, basically looking at non-lethal ways to gas an enemy. And I guess to the Wright Lab's credit, most of the proposals in this letter aren't like completely insanely insensitive. One of the things was to use a chemical in a bomb that would basically draw annoying animals to the enemy. Another idea was to make the enemy smell so bad that they wouldn't be able to hide, or that they would need to seek out help from the US Army to figure out how to get rid of the smell. Another idea was to use a bomb that basically had a chemical that would draw tracking dogs, again basically making it so the enemy couldn't hide. Then there was a paragraph arguing in favor of the use of chemicals to affect human behaviors. As it says in the proposal letter, chemicals that affect human behavior so that discipline and morale in enemy units is adversely affected. One distasteful but completely non-lethal example would be strong aphrodisiacs, especially if the chemical also caused homosexual behavior. Another example would be a chemical that made personnel very sensitive to sunlight. Somehow those two things don't feel like they should be seen on the same level. What almost feels weirder to me is that the Wright Lab had a whole timeline of development, like really thinking this was going to get funded. If it started immediately in October of 1994, it would begin with about $600,000 for early development. Then would come field tests sometime around 1998, at which point the budget for the program would be about $2 million. The ideal date to have these chemical weapons ready for field use was September 1st of 2000. In total, the program would cost $7.5 million. This paper might have been lost to the archives forever if it weren't for a gentleman named Edward Hammond. He found it in the 90s after a Freedom of Information Act request because he was looking to track down wasteful government spending.